digital arena, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sports Cast. Expect the unexpected.
The update presented by the Sportscast.
Welcome to the Sportscast, April 7th, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Apple Podcasts. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online radio. Visit our website, thesportscast.net. Also, follow us on X and IG at the Sportscast1, and check out our app, the Sportscast, in iOS App Store. What a weekend for college sports and college basketball, where the Houston Cougars defeated almighty Duke, and now they're in the national championship versus Florida. And joining us all the way from upstate New York, Gabe Esparza. Welcome back to the Sportscast.
Hello, Santiago. Thank you for having me. I'm ready to dive into everything.
There's no day that goes quiet on sports, but we definitely have a lot going on this weekend. This past weekend was incredible when it came to college sports. Houston Cougars, who would have thought that they would have beaten almighty Duke with Cooper Flag being the favorite, going to go to the draft. Things went well for them. Houston was down almost 14 points throughout the game until the last 8 minutes, erased Cooper Flag and Duke and beat them 70-67. Gabe, your overall thoughts on this matchup?
For Duke, I always thought that it was a team that, they're good, obviously. I think it would take a crazy person to say that this wasn't a good team. But for me, I always thought that they didn't quite have it for me, which is why I didn't have them in my bracket. Granted, I had Auburn, and they apparently also didn't have it. But I just think Florida and Houston are just two better overall teams. And I understand Cooper Flag is maybe the best talent in the nation, but to me, we ended up getting two of the better sides meeting at the end, and that doesn't always happen, particularly in a knockout style tournament, this type of format of March Madness. So I'm very happy that this is the final matchup that we got, even though it's not what I had in my bracket. Fine, but I think this is right, and it was a competitive field, certainly. Either Houston or Florida will be worthy champions tonight.
Yeah, very, very tight matchup tonight, but we'll get into that a little bit preview a little bit later. But let's look at what Houston did over the weekend. As you see in the screen, LG Crier guard 26 points, and Melo Sharp 16. Nothing too crazy from Houston, but their defense really sticked out. And then of course you got Duke. Look at Flag 27 points, Canepo 16 points, only the 2 stars player. But this defense of Houston, underrated, or this is pretty much reality. This is how good they are with them defensively, stopping a Goliath like Duke.
No, this is Kelvin Sampson. That's what he does. So if you want to sleep on this Houston defense, I don't know what to tell you. Good luck. That's why if you go to thesportscast.com, we did our prediction article and we had it. Yeah, there we go. Look at you. And we had it for this game. Listen, I took the under because I think the Houston defense is going to be imposing their will tonight.
Yeah. Going into our preview right now of this matchup between Auburn. Wait, sorry. Florida. Florida, who beat Auburn. Good team though. Let me pull this up. number seed, Houston meeting championship game. The Cougars are seeking their first national title in program history, while the Gators could win their third crown this century within a win.
Mhm.
Houston, how they got to this situation, which Gabe did not predict in this bracket, path to his first national title game since 1984, which they lost against Georgetown. Patrick Ewing, that was way past your day.
Oh, wow.
It's been full of thrilling finishes, headlined by a dramatic 70-60 win over Duke. The Cougars trailed by as many as 14 points. The Gators' path to the game tonight was similar. Florida had to rally to survive an upset bid from the two-time reigning champions UConn in the second round of the tournament and overcame a 10-point deficit with less than 6 minutes remaining against Texas Tech in the Elite Eight to advance to the final weekend of college basketball season. Of course, Auburn.
Mhm.
The game against Auburn was not that bad. It was not that difficult. Florida was able to prevail. Clayton Jr., fantastic player. But your thoughts overall with Florida and their and path to the game tonight?
Yeah, I would like to push back. It was incredibly difficult for me as someone who had Auburn advancing. It was an incredibly difficult match because they because they ended up losing it. But yeah, no, it was a good game. That that's another one. It could have been either one who advanced. But yeah, I mean this Florida team. Listen, they're legit. Definitely can execute well in that half court setting. And if they were to drop 80 tonight against this very good Houston team, that wouldn't come as a surprise. I don't think that's what happens. I think this Florida team has proven itself, particularly in the SEC. I understand that the Big Ten got a lot of love early on, but those were in the first and second round matches. As this year's March Madness went on, the SEC really separated itself, in my opinion, and kind of showed itself to be the class, to be the class of the nation in terms of conferences overall. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I have Houston. I think Houston will win it, but Florida, they have a hell of a resume and they can definitely be a team. Listen, anyone can get hot at any moment, and so if you're gonna bet against, Walt Clayton Jr. here, which I am, I guess, that
You are.
just don't be surprised if that doesn't turn out well for you. And in this case, you means me.
Look at the star. Houston doesn't have much stars, as we can see. But the other teams do, like Florida's Walter Clayton Jr. Your thoughts over this player? This player has been clutch. He's come in big
Yeah.
plays, big times. But what do you think about this kid?
He's gonna be in for one tonight. No, I'm kidding. No, he's very good. Obviously, very versatile, and he can score. He can score in bunches. So as a Houston backer tonight, he's the guy who I'm definitely worried about. In terms of holistically, has had a good year, and he's someone who I think could also potentially make noise at the next level. And granted, sometimes as sports fans, we look too much into the future at, well, how will this player do in the NBA? When right, they still have a whole game left in college before this season even wraps up. But I'm just projecting further. I think he's a good guy that NBA teams will want to have on their roster one day.
Yeah, pretty much. So you got Houston as your final pick. You're saying it because of the defense, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And what does Florida need to do to overcome this defense?
Probably stretch out the defense and knock like convincingly and early win the 3-point battle. If you do that, then the Houston offense will have trouble keeping up, and obviously that would kind of negate the big strength of Houston. So I don't think that happens, but that would be the path toward me looking silly.
You're seeing crazier things. Crazier
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
things.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, I would say Houston. I like their defense. I'm in Florida. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna go to Florida?" No, not necessarily. I'm going for Houston. I like the coach. I like what they've done. They beat Almighty Duke. They got momentum coming in. Their confidence is up, Gabe. You know that beating Duke,
hmm
their confidence is way up tonight. They got to
hmm
play good. If they got to play close, then so be it. Win at the last 34 seconds, or something like that. So we'll find out tonight. Of course, a lot going on with college sports. Let's go into the other news today. This past weekend, a lot going on. UConn women's basketball ruled out South Carolina to national championship. The men's couldn't do it, but the women can.
Yeah, I mean, so this was a game that was really over within the third quarter, and some people even had it over after the first quarter. I thought that was a little too harsh, but yeah, there were accounts posting as the third quarter was going on, and like not ironically or anything, being serious, they were saying congratulations to UConn. A little disrespectful maybe, but it was valid because of how good the Huskies played. And for anyone who kind of wasn't paying attention, for anyone who was kind of asleep during the regular season of college basketball, particularly on the women's side, this didn't always look like it would be a UConn team that would win it all. This wasn't always a team that necessarily looked like they were the best. Before Juju Watkins went down, I thought USC was going to win it all. UCLA at times was looking very good, and then there was Texas and certainly South Carolina. So for this UConn team to figure it out in the month of March when they needed it most, and then to put on this dominating of a performance against a very good South Carolina team, they were the reigning champ prior to yesterday. Nothing short of impressive. And shout out to Paige Becker. She gets to end her college career on a high note. Also, Azzy Fudd, I thought was terrific. And then Sarah Strong. She's just getting started. Another really impressive player.
Yeah, fantastic. She had 24 points, 15 rebounds. Paige, as you mentioned, had 17 points in her final game at UConn. Coach Gino Arama, a legend, a GOAT, said, well, it's amazing to have three people like that on the same team. And Sarah, you would think Sarah was graduating the way she plays, right? All three of them complement each other so well. They all have such unique skill sets. And another trophy for Coach Gino. Good for him,
huh? Yes.
Good thing for UConn women. Let's stick with basketball. Class of 2025 for the Basketball Hall of Fame was included Dwight Howard, Superman, Sue Bird, Haya Moore, Billy Donovan, and the Redeem Team of 2008. The whole team, I believe it or not.
Wow.
And they headlined the 2025 Hall of Fame class. What do you think about this? These prospects here.
Yeah, I saw some asking if this is the strongest class ever, and to be honest, I've never, thought to compare classes like that. If it's not, certainly what has to be one of the stronger ones. I mean, a lot of notable names.
Carmelo Anthony, I forgot to mention him.
Oh yeah. Yes. So, that's awesome. And then the Redeem Team making it in as well. Sue Bird, everything she's done for the game, just really a really strong class. And speaking of Florida, who can forget what Billy Donovan did down there? So, well, for you it's right there, but you know what I mean. For me it's down there.
Which
strong class.
Which if Florida wins tonight, that'd be good for Billy and see what happens. But yeah, the tonight morning is until this summer, so looking forward to it. Dwight Howard, interesting career, had a good start. But then just really declined about a couple of years in. Went to play overseas. I actually knew the training. His personal trainer. He actually lives down here, and we talked about it. And he had a good time with them. Good student. But when it came to basketball, it's just sometimes things don't pan out. He lost against Kobe, and I think it was 2007 or 8 finals. So that was a tough one, but. Yeah, he went to different teams. I think he played in LA for a bit, Atlanta, and then probably overseas somewhere. But good for Dwight Howard. Also, Carmelo Anthony, no championships either. Played for the Knicks. First team with the Nuggets. Didn't do well there, but was a good player, but couldn't do it. But he was good. Well, I mean, good player, but couldn't win any championships. Same class with LeBron James and Dwight and Dwayne Wade, not Dwight Howard. Dwayne Wade.
Oh, wait. No. He won one chip. In college, he went
He
on one of
did.
the most incredible college runs.
Which college was that?
The University of Syracuse.
Go Orange. I'm nearby you. There you have it.
Yep.
Let's go hockey. I hardly talk about hockey. Gabe might know more than I do. Ovechkin scored his number 895 goal, NHL's goal scoring king, and someone that was in attendance was the great Wayne Gretzky. He's about, how old is this guy? He's pretty old. He has a lot of gray hair, but your overall thoughts over this impressive record?
Yeah, I mean, this was a record that I don't think anyone was going to see or predict that it would be broken anytime soon. And, we're in 2025, so I guess relatively speaking, it wasn't. But point being, this was a record that was supposed to stand, and it just kind of shows how incredible Alexander Ovechkin is. And it's kind of neat, too, I think, where he's there to support. I like that because you do see it at times. And Grant, and this isn't a judgment. I would probably honestly be the same way. But you see it at times where there's almost resentment / bitterness when the former player is there to witness, or at times doesn't even want to witness a long-standing record get broken. But just class. I thought it was class of Wayne Gretzky. But yeah, Alex Ovechkin. I'm butchering his name a little bit, so pardon me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I thought you knew better Russian than I did, but I guess we're on the same page.
No.
Yeah, records are meant to be broken, and this record was broken. I was listening to sports radio this morning, and they were saying that what other records could be broken? Baseball, I guess, when it comes to home run records. Soccer, I guess the goal records as well. So this one's a big one. Like Gabe said, this was really hard to catch, but he did it.
Yeah,
with the Capitals. So quite
of
something.
All places.
Of all places. Congrats to Mr. Ovechkin. Southampton is the first team, the earliest team to ever get relegated by the Premier League. Only had 10 points. They fired their manager this morning. They had a horrible. They lost against. Was it Newcastle last night? Yeah, Newcastle. Hold on, let me check it out. They lost against.
Southampton played?
Yeah, Southampton. Who did they play yesterday? They were
the
Spurs, Tottenham. Tottenham beat them 3-1 earliest. Only 10 points. Not good. They fired their coach this morning, but there was a clause where he was able to leave if they get relegated. So he has a whole month of April off. Your thoughts on Southampton losing?
Good for him. That's the kind of employment you want. No, but kidding aside, I mean, this was a team that they did well in the championship, and they don't really belong at the Premier League level of play. And that's fine. Not every club is meant to be at the top tier in England. So I who knows what can happen. They've done well, and they have a history of being able to produce young talent and doing well at the championship. But even if they win it all, or they finish in a spot where then they make it in the playoffs and then end up getting promoted again in 2 years into the Premier League, they'll just be in the same spot again. So clubs like Southampton, Burnley, Leicester, they kind of need an in-between league that is a little better than the championship and obviously at a lower level than the Premier League. So I mean, you can't go in a season and just get 10 points. That just can't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Southampton's one of those teams that go up and down. Burnley's up in the championship. They'll be back in the Premier League next season probably. So we'll see what happens. It's how you manage your money, how you buy the players, how you do the trade. Like if you look at Brighton, they do well with scouting. They know the right players, get the right manager to keep them maybe mid-table at worst, and they're able to keep them up. So. And we saw how, like, when Nottingham Forest did, they were almost relegated last year. Brought the new coach, did good scouting, put the good team together. Now there might be in contention to play in the Champions League next year. So you want to have a good strategy. You just can't play out on the whim. You got to have a strategy. Let's stay with soccer. Yesterday, U.S. women's beat Brazil 2-0. Trini Rodman scored in the 5th minute of her return from a lengthy injury absence. and they beat Brazil 2-0. Captain Lindsay Heaps scored a second-half penalty goal for the Americans in the first of the 2 California friendlies in 4 days against Brazil, who lost 2-1 in Paris as the U.S. secured its 5th Olympic gold medal. But U.S. is better in Brazil when it comes to women's soccer, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Let me speak on, U.S. women's soccer. At one point, they were the clear-cut #1 team, and that, I'm talking, 6-8 years ago, and now that gap is definitely narrowed. Some teams that I would look out for and some matchups that I would look forward to. USA England and/or USA versus Germany. Those are 2 really excellent women's national teams as well. And I think that if they were to play 10 times, we could see something like 4 wins or 3 wins, 3 losses. Then I'm messing up the math. You get the point. 4 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, US was a clear front runner, like Gabe said, 6-8 years ago. For a while now, a lot of teams have caught up. England,
A little
Germany's. Brazil, not necessarily. I mean, Brazil's good, but they're not like the Brazil for like the men's side. They're like winning World Cups left and right. And also, if you look into it, England has a good women's league. It's worked out well over there. You got like Manchester United has a women's team. Chelsea, Arsenal, all the Premier League clubs have a women's team, so that helps. There is a revenue stream versus over here. It has not done well locally. For women's league here in the States, I like the current one has lasted a little bit longer than the other ones because there's always a new league every 2-3 years when it comes to women's soccer here in the U.S. But it is panning out over there in Europe. But yeah, you're right. If you have these, have the U.S., England, Germany play in one tournament together, I cannot safely say the U.S. can win it.
No.
So
correct.
Trinity Rodman, daughter of Dennis Rodman, one of the best, the heroes, and the new coach, of course. She is definitely putting a lot of effort in switching up this team because the previous regime was not that good. But congrats to U.S. Soccer. Shehi Otani threw a 25-pitch bullpen session on Saturday. This guy is on...
Oh, wait, sorry. Santiago?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I didn't realize this. The 2031 World Cup was announced is coming to the U.S. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I think they're competing
big
against some other country, but will most likely are going to get it. So it's gonna be a good World Cup. We got World Cup 2026. We got the FIFA Club World Cup this year, and then we got 2031. Wait a couple of years, and we're all set. But Shohei Ohtani, 25-pitch bullpen. Your thoughts on that?
What was that? One more time, please.
Shohei Ohtani, the Los Angeles Dodgers pitchers, had a 25-pitch bullpen session this past weekend. And
I see.
And he's been having a great start for the season. He beat his team beat the Philadelphia Phillies 3-1.
Yeah. I mean, what else can I say? First of all, about the Dodgers, and then about him. First of all, great seeing that he's healthy and that it looks like we're gonna get the best version of Shohei Ohtani here. Both for what he can do as a batter and then pitching. So the Dodgers are loaded up. They're off to their amazing start.
Yeah, Dodgers great start, and like Gabe said, he was injured last season, so this year he might have a good season, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. It's only in April in baseball; it's only getting started, so we'll see more towards July and half at All-Star. Verstappen wins another Grand Prix, this time in Japan. In brilliant style, Verstappen coolness under pressure to fend off 2 faster cars, coupled with a scintillating drive to qualify in pole position on Saturday, made for one of the best weekends that he's had in Formula One. But he wins another one. He's at Michael Jordan for racing.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like the LA Dodgers, I'd say, of F1. It's just there's no shot for anyone else, and it's annoyingly so. there is very little to suggest that Red Bull, won't win. The other teams can do what they want, but even when he was at a disadvantage, he still found a way. So yeah, it's going to be a 5-peat for him.
5P for him. Good job for Verstappen. Of course, these Grand Prix
Mhm.
goes on tour here and there. But well, there you have it. That is our news headlines of the weekend. A lot going on, but we got predictions and who is Gabe going to pick between Arsenal and Real Madrid? But we have a word from our sponsors until we hear our predictions for this week's games. In the rhythm of life, every tick of the clock holds a story. But how do we make every moment count? Meet Start Time, the simplest way to log, track, and optimize your time right at your fingertips. Start Time is designed for simplicity. With just a tap, begin logging any activity. And when you're done, hit stop. It's that easy. Wherever you are, Start Time knows. Our location detection feature automatically tags your logs, giving context to every second spent. Keep your day in perspective with a log tab. Every task, every moment, neatly organized and easy to review. Log, track, and optimize your time with a tap. Ready to make every moment count? Start with Start Time. Available now for iOS. Start Time for iOS available. All right, predictions tonight. Let's go. Let's go soccer first. We'll leave the best for last. Real Madrid Champions League quarterfinal. Real Madrid at Arsenal, leg one. Doesn't mean you have to win this game to move on to the next round. But who do you have for this leg one? Oh wow! Anyway, Gabe just left. We'll see what happens. I got Arsenal or a draw, but let's keep it a draw. I think it's gonna be 1-1, and we'll see what happens there. And we got Gabe coming in. Gabe, you're back. What happened?
Yeah, I got mad at Leicester, but it's fine. Who do I have for this one? I
Newcastle's up 2-0. You're right.
It happened within like the 4th minute again.
Within
So
this show, unbelievable.
oh,
Okay,
it was bad. But yeah, who do I have for here?
Madrid and
Uh,
Arsenal leg one. They don't have to win it this
no.
first leg one, but who do you have?
I got Arsenal. I think they just lost a really good center back in Gabriel, and I'm not just saying that because of his first name, but I think Arsenal is going to be good enough. They get Bukayo Saka back, and I'm just not entirely sold on this Real Madrid team, particularly away from the Bernabeu. I think Arsenal is going to eke out like a 2-1, 1-0 victory.
But overall, who would will win the series? You think?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, my fault. So
No. It's okay because I asked about leg one, but who do you think will eke it out for the remainder?
Yeah, I think they're going to win by like a goal at the Emirates, and then they'll get a draw in Spain, and see Arsenal advance. I don't
Oh
think
wow!
Real Madrid advances here.
You don't think they're
I'm
all
going
there?
dangerous. I'm going dangerous.
Interesting. That is pretty dangerous. Good pick to have. We'll see what happens. I think Opta, one of those big soccer
Mm-hmm.
publications, is
Yep.
picking Arsenal to win it. So we'll see what happens tonight. Florida versus Houston. You said it like already before, but who do you have? Have you changed your mind since?
I haven't, but I appreciate you affording me that opportunity. Houston covers and wins tonight.
Houston wins tonight. First championship ever. Florida's won it recently, but if Houston wins it, Big 12, first time. Let's see what happens. I got a Houston. I'm going for the defense, and that formula, defense wins championships, will happen tonight. Well, there you have it. A lot of sports. Gabe, what is the best way to reach you online to ask you about the Cougars?
Thank you, Santiago, for again having me on. Appreciate it. At Sports Pulse 100. And again, we are always doing our articles at thesportscast.com. So check us out there.
Sportscast.net, not
Oh,
.com,
thank
but I'll get that .com eventually.
you.
There we have
My
it,
bad, my bad.
sportscast.net, or you can follow us on X and Instagram, the Sportscast1. We'll be live tweeting tonight's game. and then throughout the week what's happening, and we'll see what happens. It's been a good March Madness. Overall, what did you think about this March Madness? Was it good? Did it really meet your expectations, or you missed those small little Cinderella teams that shake things up?
It was awesome in the beginning. I definitely feel like it fizzled out a little bit, but
Yeah,
hopefully we end on a crescendo.
there you have it. Gabe, that's all she wrote. This was your update. Thanks for coming.